I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will understand how to solve right triangle with two given sides. I'll try to cover all possible cases. Let us consider a triangle like this, and let us say that the vertices of the triangle are A, B, and C. Since we are talking about a right triangle, then one of the angles has to be 90 degrees, and that is always the angle which is opposite the longest side. So that is the hypotenuse, right? So C is the hypotenuse, and the other sides are A and B. We normally use small letter A for capital letter vertex, right? And opposite side will be labeled as A. So that is how you normally label a triangle. Now in a triangle, you know Pythagorean theorem, which relates the sides, right? So we know A square plus B square equals to C square, and we also know that sum of angles is always 180 degrees, and we also know that angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees, right? Since C is 90 degrees, we know that angle A plus angle B, C is 90 degrees for us, should be equals to 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, which is 90 degrees, right? So sum of A and B is always 90 degrees, since C is 90 degrees for a right triangle. Now, what we'll try to understand here is that if two sides are given to us, how to find all other angles and the third side. So two sides given to us could be any combination, right? So we'll have three different combinations. So let me make three different triangles. So one to start with is already there, and then I'll make one here, and another one here. So these are three different triangles. The whole idea here is that we'll have different sides for these triangles. Let us say in the first triangle, what we know is the sides A and B. Let us say here A is equals to 3 and B is equals to 4. We need to solve this triangle. Now in these triangles, let me take other sides. Let's say we have 8 here and 10. Okay, and in this triangle we will have these two sides known to us, and let us say these sides are, let me take different kinds of values. Let's say this side is square root of 5 and this side is, let us say, 3. Now in that case it cannot be square root of 5. Let me say 2 square root 5, and the other side is 3. Then how do we solve these triangles? So that is how we will now work. Now let's start with our first triangle. We know two set of sides, which is, if we see from angle A point of view, then we know the opposite side and the adjacent side. Knowing opposite and adjacent, we can find the angle using tan of theta. Well, so you must be wondering how I get that part. So that is from SOHCAHTOA. So we also know the trigonometric ratios, which are sine, cosine, and tangent, right? So we'll use sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And then we know cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then we have tan. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So these are the three primary trigonometric ratios which will apply to solve a triangle, correct? So I think now we know all the things which we need to know to solve the triangles. Now given such a situation, we can start with sides itself. We can find the third side C, since C square is equals to A square plus B square, Pythagorean theorem, we can write c square is 3 square plus 4 square, and in this case 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16. So c is equals to square root of 25, right? So 29 plus 16 is 25. That gives us number 5. So in this particular triangle, we found that the sides should be a is 3 given to us, 4 given to us, and 5 which we calculated. Knowing these sides, we can always find the angles. So let's calculate angle A first. So angle A, we were given sides 3 and 4. We'll utilize the given sides. At times, you may do a calculation mistake, right? So relating A and B is tan, opposite over adjacent. From A point of view, that is the opposite side. So tan of angle A is actually equals to 3 over 4, and therefore angle A should be equals to tan inverse of 3 over 4. We can now use calculator to calculate, and we'll round our answer to 1 decimal place, right? So second function, tan inverse 3 divided by 4, bracket close, equals to 36.89. So let us write this as approximately 37 degrees. Let's round it to a whole number itself. So we get angle A as 37 degrees. Once we find angle A using one of the trigonometric ratios, we can find angle B, and angle B should be how much? We know sum of A and B is 90 degrees. So B is 90 degrees minus 37 degrees, correct? So that gives us 53, right? So it is 53 degrees. So that is how we can solve. Now we know angle A, B, and all the 3 sides. The triangle has been solved. I hope you get the point, right? So we'll apply the same method in other triangles so you can quickly find the side, right? Let me change these numbers this time to decimal numbers. Let's say this is 8.2 and this is 10.1. In that case, what is that side equals to? Now, since this is a smaller side, right? Let me write this side as A. Then A should be equals to bigger side square, which is 10.1 square, minus smaller side square, 8.2 square, because it is not the largest, so it is not sum, right? In this, if you rearrange, A square is C square minus B square, and then square root, correct? And then square root of all this. Is that okay? So let's use calculator, find the answer. So we are saying square root of, within the square root, we have 10.1 square, take away 8.2 square, and then we say equal to 5.89. So I can write this as 5.9, for example, correct? So we get our side A, which is 5.9 for us, correct? Now to find the angle, let's say, let me label this triangle as A, B, and C, right? Now angle A, we should find from the given sides. Now this is for angle A, adjacent side, that's the hypotenuse. We can write cos of A equals to 8.2 divided by 10.1. So angle A equals to cos inverse of 8.2 divided by 10.1. So let's calculate. Second function, that is, always press shift for cos inverse. And within brackets, we get 8.2 divided by 10.1, and that gives us 35.7. So we'll again round it to whole number. Let us say 35.7. We are rounding to 36 degrees. So in this case, we get angle A as 36 degree. So what is going to be angle B? Of course, angle B will be 90 degrees minus 36 degrees, right? So you can take away, so you get 54 degrees this time. Okay, so that is what we get. In the third case, what is this side? First find the side. Let's label the triangle A, B, C. Well, you could write P, Q, R, D, E, F, anything for that matter. Now, here we have a right triangle, right? So AC is the smaller side. So AC is equals to what? Let me label this as B. So B should be equals to square of this, which is 2 square is 4. So let me write like this. 2 square root of 5 whole square. Take away 3 square. Okay? Within square root, right? Now 2 square is 4 and square root of 5 square is 5. So we get 20 here, right? So we get square root of 20 minus 9. I've purposely shown you the calculation. At times it could be tricky, right? So what we get here is 20 minus 9 square root. This time, actually let me write it in exact values, okay? Instead of writing decimal values. So 20 minus 9 is 11, so I get square root of 11 in this case. So this side is square root of 11. And now we can, actually you can always calculate, but that is an exact answer. Now to find the angle, we can use 3 and 2 square root of 5, which is given to us, and that forms the ratio of sine, correct? So sine of A, since 3 is opposite to angle A, is equals to 3 over or divided by 2 square root of 5. So angle A will be equals to sine inverse of 3 divided by 2 square root 5, and we can use calculator to find this answer, correct? So we'll use second function, sine inverse 3 divided by 2 square root 5 So we get 42.13. So it is 42, let's say round it to 42 degrees, correct? If A is 42 degrees, what is B? B should be 90 minus 42, correct? So angle B is equals to 90 minus 42 degrees, right? Which is 48 degrees. Correct? So for 90 minus 42 will give you 48 degrees. So we have solved this triangle. Also, we know all the sides and all the angles. So you can review this video, and the basic thing is whenever you're trying to solve a right triangle, you can use Pythagorean theorem to find the sides. You should know the sum of angles is 180 degrees. So in a right triangle, sum of other two angles is 90 degrees. And use primary trigonometric ratio, sine, cosine, and tan. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, tan opposite over adjacent, to find one of the angles. Once you find one angle, the other angle is 90 minus that angle. That is how you solve a triangle. Given two sides. I hope that helps. I'm Anil Kumar. You can subscribe to my videos and learn a lot. Thank you and all the best.